Whenever I see bells in a church, I'm always so amazed at how they designed that church to house those bells. Up in this really tall steeple, there's an area where bells are held. And I always think, whenever I'm walking by one, man, wouldn't it be so cool if I could run up there and just start ringing those bells? How beautiful would they sound in succession? How loud would they be? Did you know that traditionally church bells were used as a call to prayer and also a call to communal worship? If you were living nearby a church that had bells, if you heard them ringing, would the first thing that came to your mind be, man, I should really start praying, or I should start heading to church right now? Or would you be hearing those bells and thinking, wow, I hope that those bells stop soon so I can focus on what I'm doing because it's so distracting? How often do we as Christians ignore our call to prayer? You know, we might be thinking these thoughts: I'm too tired. I don't have time. I can handle this on my own, God. What's the point? God, do you even hear my prayers? And I'll get around to it when I can. For me, sometimes it's, I'll pray in the morning, God, don't worry. I go to sleep. I start waking up to the alarm, the bells from my alarm clock, and I just shut it off and go back to sleep again. Sometimes this happens in life. We get busy. We get caught up in our world. We think that our prayers don't make a difference. But I believe God is calling us to urgent prayer. And not only just urgent prayer, but daily prayer. How can we function in our Christian walk if we don't spend time with God? Jeremiah 29:12 says, "Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you." Psalm 102:17 says, "He regards the prayer of the destitute and does not despise their prayer." Matthew 26:41, "Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." In life, it is so easy to fall into the trap that our prayers don't make a difference. It's so easy to fall into the trap that we become so complacent that we don't even pray at all. And that's not the way we should live our lives. If we don't pray, we miss out on God's guidance, God's wisdom, and God's truth. If we don't pray, we can walk into temptation and label it as a war that we will never, ever win. But that's not what God wants us to do. He doesn't want us to live lives where we don't get to live in victory, because that's what it takes. We can't walk through situations in life without Him, or else we're missing out on the victory that comes from Jesus. We need to pray to the only one who can bring a breakthrough in our world, the only one who can help us defeat sin. Because without Jesus, we don't have hope. We don't have redemption. We don't have life. We need to focus in on prayer. If life is weighing you down, don't ignore the bells in your life. Don't ignore the moments where God is wanting you to spend time with Him, to call out to Him in prayer, because He's the only one who can do the impossible in your world. So when you're in a moment of complete chaos and uncertainty, a situation that is so dark and so impossible to get through, don't just stay in that situation. Take some time and reach out to Jesus. Allow Him to be your deliverer and pray to Him. When you're about to go to bed, take those quiet moments and spend time seeking Him. And in the morning, when your alarm is going off and you're hearing all this loud sound, don't just shut it off and go back to sleep. Shut that alarm off, wake up, and pray. Be intentional in your prayers. God wants us to spend time with Him in daily and urgent prayer, because He is our rescuer and He is our one true hope.